All right, chemistry, let's start your sample problems for Chapter 8, Section 1. Number 1, write word and formula equations for the reaction in which aqueous solutions of sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide react to form aqueous sodium sulfate and water. Now, we have two tasks here, word and formula equations. Now, formula, let's just go ahead and start with that. Aqueous solutions of sulfuric acid, so H2SO4 in the aqueous phase. Then we also have a sodium hydroxide, also in the aqueous phase, reacting to form sodium sulfate in the aqueous phase, and H2O in the liquid phase. Now, notice it doesn't say anything about water being in a particular phase, so you might think, oh, wasn't this aqueous right here referring to both sodium sulfate and water? Well, think about what aqueous means. It means dissolved in water. Can you dissolve water in water? No, you can add water to water. It's liquid. It's the water that you're adding everything to. So that's going to be liquid. See, the thing we want to point out, aqueous solutions, plural. Okay, so that's going to make it refer to the sulfuric acid. By the way, acid can only be in solution. So if it says acid right there, you can just assume it's in solution, but it's also going to refer to this sodium hydroxide. Now, as far as the word equation is concerned, we are going to say aqueous sulfuric acid and aqueous sodium hydroxide react to form aqueous sodium sulfate and liquid, what's going off, water. And so you'll notice what I've done here is, instead of having aqueous solutions of sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide, I've said aqueous to both. Now, it is very true that you can simply say sulfuric acid and aqueous sodium hydroxide, and you'll be communicating that the sulfuric acid is in an aqueous solution, because in fact, that's the only way you can have these hydrogens dissociate from the sulfate and have them act like an acid. Now, because we are not going over the acid portion of this at this time, I'm going to keep it simple and simply have you say aqueous sulfuric acid. But realize as you become more and more experienced with chemistry, you'll actually start to leave that off, because the aqueous is inferred when you say sulfuric acid. And the only other thing that I changed is that I included the stated phase for water.